Recently, Halo fans across the globe were treated to the world premiere trailer of Halo Single Player version 3 by the CMT community. What is SPV3? It's a mod for Halo PC that essentially updates the original game in many different aspects. But it then occurred to me that this isn't the first time we've seen an updated version of Halo. As a matter of fact, the last time we saw one was by the developers themselves, 343 Industries, with Halo Anniversary. Now, these two games are different in many ways. Halo Anniversary is essentially a remaster of Halo Combat Evolved, where Halo SPV3 is a reimagining of the campaign. While both are different in many ways, they essentially try to do the same thing, which is update the original game to more modern standards. And while SPV3 may have taken the more creative approach, today we're going to break the two games down and see which one is better, Halo Anniversary or Halo Single Player version 3. Now, when talking about games like these, we really can't compare these by just a couple of different things. There's a lot of different things to take into consideration here. So I've divided the comparison up into 9 different categories, and we're going to take a look at each and every one of them, starting with pricing. Before Halo Anniversary was released, 343 Industries stated that this was going to be a quote-unquote gift to the fans. And it's true, an argument can be made for that. I mean, it was still a lot cheaper than a standard game, but fans still were made to pay for it. However, Single Player version 3, despite being in development for over 10 years, has always been 100% free. This makes it a true gift to the fans, and for that reason we're awarding the first point to SPV3. The next topic of conversation here is the platform. Each one is proprietary to its own platform, with Halo Anniversary being solely on the Xbox and Halo SPV3 being solely for the PC. You could argue that this comes down to a matter of preference. Some people prefer a console, others prefer a mouse and keyboard and their PC. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone has an Xbox, and with a PC you have the option of using a controller or a mouse and keyboard. It's also worth noting that most people have PCs, but not everyone has a console. This makes SPV3 highly more accessible and convenient, so for this one we're awarding another point to SPV3. The next item of interest is graphics. Now, we can't really do this in a lump sum because there are several things that we need to take into consideration here. Now, for the record, I'm not dealing with particle effects because both games did a great job on that aspect of it. But there are certainly other aspects of the graphics that are definitely worth observing. The first is the concept of the models. Halo Anniversary decided to rip several models from both Halo Reach and Halo 3. In some instances, 343 does manage to pull this off, but in other cases it's glaringly terrible. Take Captain Keyes for instance. His teeth look like they're about to leap out of his face. Cortana doesn't just look smaller, but she's also generally out of frame, and her lips don't even sync up with her words. And the Elite Zealot is a complete mess. It looks like a Halo Reach Zealot and General had an extended fucking suck session. And if even those things don't make a huge difference to you, the graphics overall look very grainy, not shiny and polished like what we're used to from the original Halo Combat Evolved. SPV3, on the other hand, has updated graphics of the original models, not something completely new and different. This is what I expect from an updated Halo game, and it fits perfectly with what they're trying to sell. So once again, the point goes to SPV3. But now we need to talk about the environments. Understandably, Single Player version 3 did have some graphical limitations due to the platform that it was built off of. Remember, the base platform on which SPV3 was built was Halo PC, which was ported over from the Xbox by a company called Gearbox. Unfortunately, Gearbox did a substandard job and was not able to actually make a great port from it. Even if I do like the game itself, it's still not a great port. So this does put limitations on how far SPV3 can be pushed graphically. Halo Anniversary, on the other hand, has a much flushed out and beautiful and detailed environment system. One of the most notable is on 343 Guilty Spark. There's tons of grass, jungle vines, everything. It looks fantastic, and a lot of work and detail went into it. And while I do realize that SPV3 had far more limitations than Halo Anniversary, it doesn't change the outcome of the final product. The point for environmental superiority here goes to Halo Anniversary. The final thing I want to touch on in terms of graphics is the lighting. In Single Player version 3, while the lighting is slightly improved from the original, it isn't by much. You can see a bit more shine to things, but ultimately the lighting dynamics are mostly the same as what you see in the original game, with only a few touch-ups here and there. However, Halo Anniversary does knock this one out of the park pretty well. The lighting dynamics are beautiful and everything looks very buffed and polished. The lighting effects in Halo Anniversary does bring the game up to 360 standards, which is what people were looking for Halo Anniversary. So once again, the point goes to Halo Anniversary. Now let's talk about the frame rate and the overall smoothness of the game. As mentioned before, SPV3 has the unfortunate shortcoming of having to work with an older system and an older engine. Because of this, the more stuff they add graphically to the game, the more the frame rates slow down, even on a powerful Alienware PC like mine. However, Halo Anniversary Anniversary was developed with a 360 in mind and runs on hardware that's dedicated to gaming, improving the overall performance of the game itself. So the point to overall performance goes to Halo Anniversary. But now let's talk about the meat of things, the gameplay. Halo Anniversary is essentially a carbon copy of Combat Evolved. The gameplay is nearly identical, so if you love playing Halo Combat Evolved, odds are you're also going to love playing Halo Anniversary. The downside to this is you're not going to really find anything different either. Halo SPV3, on the other hand, offers so much more. They've incorporated new weapons in the game, not only from other Halo games, but also originals. They've also added new vehicles and new enemies, giving the game so much more replay value than the original. There's a lot more for a player to do for each mission and even each individual battle. There are so many more and creative ways to have fun in this game, so for this one, we're giving the point to SPV3. Now we need to talk about multiplayer, and while both games came up a little bit short on this one came up a little bit shorter than the other. While it's true that Halo Anniversary did not in fact have a standalone multiplayer, it did include a classic map pack for Halo Reach that went along with the classic Halo playlist. This allowed players to not only enjoy a classic style of Halo gameplay, but also while taking advantage of state-of-the-art graphics and a modern game engine. And if that wasn't enough to satisfy you, Halo Anniversary also had the option for online co-op so that people could enjoy the campaign together. Unfortunately, single-player version 3 lacked all of these things. Not only was there zero opportunity for co-op, but for multiplayer they teased us with it in the UI, but it was never actually implemented. And while it is true that there are other maps out there that you can download and implement into the game, none of these came to the game by default, nor were they actually designed by the SPV3 development team. So with no multiplayer included, the point here goes to Halo Anniversary. And finally, let's take a look at the additional content. As we've mentioned previously, Halo Anniversary was basically just Halo Combat Evolved with a makeover. However, it did add a few new things to the game, like skulls and terminals. Not only did you have to seek these things out, but the terminals added additional lore to the series, and the skulls modified the gameplay. Achievements and scoring were also added to Halo Anniversary in order to give the player more options and more challenges. And while all that sounds well and good, it still doesn't hold a candle to what SPV3 did. Yes, they also add skulls like Halo Anniversary, and as we've already mentioned, they added new weapons, vehicles, and enemies. But without a doubt, the most phenomenal addition to this game was the fact that they redesigned the campaign missions themselves, oftentimes adding extra segments and even new objectives. And in the case of the Silent Cartographer, they even redesigned the entire mission from the ground up. If you go into SPV3 with having played Halo Combat Evolved 1,000 times, this will still be a brand new experience for you. And if that still isn't enough, yes, you can turn on skulls as well. Achievements and scoring are nice, shiny things to add to a game, but this by far makes the game far more replayable. The new mission segments, objectives, and even redone missions give the player far more replay value, and overall a genuinely new experience. This is far more impressive than simply adding achievements. None of these segments ever felt like they were shoehorned in there. They felt like it was a director's cut from the original game. They felt very organic to Halo Combat Evolved. And for that, the final point goes to Halo Single Player Version 3. As a bonus topic here, I wanted to take just a brief moment to talk about the music, since both games decided to remaster it. First of all, I'll say that nothing beats the original. Marty O'Donnell is nothing short of a musical genius, and it will always be that way. To that end, Halo Anniversary works to remaster the original track, not straying far from the original, while Halo SPV3 does attempt to do the same thing, but adds a lot of original work as well. Both soundtracks are excellent at keeping the original spirit of the original Halo, while also adding something new to the mix. So in terms of music, the games are a tie. Ultimately, everything I said here today is subject to opinion. You may agree with me, you may disagree. It's all up to you. But at the end of the day, if I had to call which game was a better representation of a remastered Halo, I would have to say, hands down, it's Halo Single Player Version 3. I'd like to take the time to thank both Masters Elite and the CMT community for spending over a decade perfecting this game and allowing it to be a free download for Halo fans around the world. You can download it free today from their subreddit, and I will put a link in the description below. So which game is your personal favorite? You can let me know in the comments below, or hit me up on Twitter at MythicTyrant. A link to my Twitter feed can be found in the description below. And if you like this video and you want to see more, click that subscribe button for more great content every single day right here on MythicTyrant.com. Thanks so much for watching, guys and gals. I'll catch you right back here next time. And as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.